All right, today what we're going to do is we're going to build on what we did the day before, where we were finding slope and we were making shapes, and then we're going to use the vocab that we talked about before. But now what we're going to do is we're going to put it all on a graph. And what I did first was I took all these 4 points and I plotted them on the graph. And then from there, it wanted to find slope AB. So I had to take A, which is 1, 7. Oops, I didn't label my points. Okay, A. And I went to B, which is 7, 8, which is up here. There you go. I'll just label my points since I forgot to do that before. All right, so for slope of AB, so we're connecting this line right here. So from slope AB, we're going to go up 1, to the right 6. So our slope is 1, 6. So remember, it's always rise over run, change of y over change of x, or your actual formula. But in this case, using the graph, using this one is probably the best. So, to find the length of it, what we're going to do is we're going to use our Pythagorean theorem. And we know this length is 1. This length of the segment is 6. So to find this part right here, you just take 1 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. Go ahead, square both of those. You'll get 37. 37 will equal x squared. And remember, to undo a square, you need to take the square root of both sides. And you put that into your calculator, you'll get approximately 6.08. And that's what we did there. All right, now let's find slope AD. So we're going from this point to this point. So to find the slope of this line, I'm going to go down 6 and to the right 1. So my slope is negative 6 over 1, which equals negative 6. But to find the length, I'm still using the same, because if I were to do 1 and negative 6 here, it's still going to get 1, the same measurement. So I'm still going to get 1 plus 36 equals x squared. So then you get 37 x squared. Take the square root of both sides. And you get x is approximately 6.08. All right, so if you notice, it's the same thing. So far I'm thinking, okay, I've got 2 sides that are the same length. And then if you look at their slopes, I'm noticing if I were to switch these two, I'm going to get 6 over 1. And if this is positive and this is negative, I know they're negative reciprocals of each other, or opposite reciprocals, and that means that these are going to be perpendicular. So I'm going to keep going with BC, and I'm going to go B to C, and I'm going to do the same thing, or from C to B actually is what I did. So I'm going up 6 and to the left 1, and or you can go down 6 and to the right 1. Either way works, but your final slope should be negative 6. Well, we already said negative 6, and then it's the same slope, and we've got the same measurements. So if you notice right now, if you look at the measurements all the way around, they're all either 6, negative 6, or 1, negative 1. So the slope of BC is negative 6, which would be parallel to slope AD. So these two are parallel. And then the length of this is the same because it's the same measurements. And then for C to D, you can go down 1 and to the left 6, which is going to give you positive 1, 6. So then I know these two are perpendicular, BC and CD, which means it makes a right angle. And I know that because we flipped them. And then if this were negative, we change the sign to a positive. So these two are perpendicular to each other. So if they're perpendicular, that means you have 4 right angles. And all the sides are the same, so that means that this must be square. And we said 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. All right, so now to find the area, you take your length times width. Well, in this case, it doesn't matter which side you take, but you're going to need to take AB times AD, or you can take BC times DC. But either way, you're going to go 6.08 times 6.08, which is what I have down here. Put that into your calculator, you get 36.97. And then for perimeter, if all the lengths are 6.08, you just find the distance around the outside, which is 4 sides times 6.08, and that's 24.32. All right, now what I did is I graphed this for you, and make sure you label your points. I did not label the points on here, but A is here. I'll make it a little bit thicker for you. All right, so A is here. B is 7, 1. B is right here. C is 8, 5. And this is D right here. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to do very similar to what we did here, where first you're going to find the slope. So how you find the slope is up to you. You can do rise over run, or this and that. So however you find the slope. And then you're going to find the length by doing Pythagorean theorem. So remember, you need to do an a squared plus b squared equals c squared after you find the lengths of those. All right, so you're going to go through and you're going to finish that. And then once you're done, you're going to tell me what shape is it, how do you know, then you're just finding perimeter. You don't need to find area of this one. So perimeter would be this shape. All right, now let's look in the third one. I did not graph it. You're going to do all of that part here, and then let's look at the last one for this part. Okay, so we've got our 4 points, which I'm going to plot and label. I did not label. I'm going to do that now for you. So we've got -9, 5 is A down here, or I'll put it in here. All right, B is -2, 7. -2, -7, excuse me. Here, C is 1, -3. And then D is 0, 7. All right, so now that you got your points, what we're going to do is we need to find the slope of AB. So from here, so I'm going to go down 2 to the right 7. So I know my slope is -2 sevenths, and to find the length, I'm going to go -2 squared plus 7 squared, and that's going to equal x squared. And then again, once you do that, -2 squared is +4, 7 squared is 49, and bring this down. Add those together, you're going to get 53 equals x squared. And then to undo a square root, you have to take, or to undo a square, you have to take square root of both sides, and you're going to get x is approximately 7.3. So that's how I got my length of AB right there. Now we're going to do the same thing with slope AD. So AD is right here. So to get from there to there, I can go up 12, and I can go right 9. And 12/9 simplifies to 4/3. So the slope is 4/3. Now, to get the length, this is where you're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared using these measurements for A and B. All right, so that's what I did right here. Is this is 12 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. All right, go ahead, plug those in, and I'm going to just substitute those even though they're positive, so it doesn't matter necessarily in this case, but just to be consistent. All right, so I've got 144 plus 81 gives you 225 equals x squared, because your hypotenuse should be the other side of the equal sign. To undo a square, take the square root of both sides. X is going to be 15, which is your length there. So this length is 15. All right, this length is 7.3. Now we're going to find the slope of BC. So BC is right here. So I'm going to go down 4 and to the left 3. So in this case, or you could go up 4 to the right 3. Either way, doesn't matter. Oops, sorry. Let me count that correctly. And to the right 3, as long as this is your diagonal. So, oops. So again, it doesn't matter which direction you go, but what I like to do is if I go down and to the left, I always put it in parentheses like that, just in case. All right, and so I've got 16 plus 9 equals x squared. 16 plus 9 is 25. And then to undo the square, you need to take square root of both sides, so x is 5. So this, oops, excuse me, this length right here is 5. All right, and then for CD, which is right here, you can go up 10 and to the left 1. So my slope is negative 10. And then in this case, I went down 10 and to the right 1. But either way, go ahead, plug that in. You're going to get 100 plus 1, which is 101, equals x squared. And then to undo the square, take the square root of both sides, and you'll get 10 is approximately, or 10.05 is approximately x. So now, I know this is 10.05. Now I can go through and figure out what shape is it. Well, it's a trapezoid because I only have one set of parallel lines. So this is parallel to this. So slope AD is parallel to BC. And I know that because they have the same slope. If it's same slope, it's parallel, and since this only has one set of parallel lines, and it's a quadrilateral, it's a trapezoid. All right, and then now to find the perimeter, all you're gonna do is take all 4 of those, add them together, and that's going to give you the perimeter around the figure. So here, plus here, plus here, plus there. All right, and the biggest thing is just making sure you're going through, finding the slope of all the parts by doing rise over run. And then to find the length, you're going to do Pythagorean theorem. All right, and that is your coordinate geometry.